Greetings, dear learners. Welcome to CEC Gurukul lectures. In the series of accounting process, we had discussed in the previous lecture about the entries, compound journal entry, opening entry, goods account and special journal entries. We are continuing with that, and in today's lecture, we are going to talk about some more journal entries. We are going to talk about the ledger, what is the relationship between journal and ledger, what are the rules for the posting of this ledger posting. Let's take the first special transactions, and these transactions are related with the goods. Here the first transaction is given withdrawn goods for personal use, and the sale price is rupees 600 and the cost price is rupees 500. In this particular transaction, goods are withdrawn by owner for his personal use. As I have explained you earlier as well, whenever there is a transaction which is done by the owner, that has to be recorded in the business, even if it is done by an owner. According to the separate entity concept, which we had discussed earlier in the previous lecture, concepts and conventions of accounting, therein I have explained you the separate entity concept, and the separate entity concept says even you have to treat owner and business as a separate entity. So according to this concept, this says ki even a transaction which is done by the owner, that has to be recorded by the business. So in this particular transaction, goods are withdrawn by owner for his personal use. So if owner is withdrawing something from the business, then that would be treated with, that would be depicted with the name drawings. That would not be depicted with his personal name. That would not be depicted with his with the goods account. That would be depicted with the term drawings account. If he is withdrawing cash from the business, if he is withdrawing goods from the business, then this both the things would be depicted with the name drawings account. In this particular transaction, since he is withdrawing goods from the business, the journal entry would be drawings account debit to purchase account. So in this particular transaction, drawings account you have to debit, since goods are withdrawn by the owner for his personal use. When he is withdrawing goods for personal use, in this particular case, drawings would be debited and he is withdrawing goods. So in this particular case, we are representing goods with the name purchase, not with the sale, because there is a reduction in the value of purchase. If there is a reduction in the value of purchase, what we have to do in an accounts, purchases are to be debited when we are purchasing goods. So when we are recording this particular transaction, purchases are to be credited because there is a reduction in the value of purchase. So entry would be drawings account debit to purchase account. And at what price we have to record this particular transaction? We have to record this particular transaction with the cost price, not with the selling price. Since we are not selling these goods are withdrawn by the owner for his personal use at the cost price, and the cost price was rupees 500. Let's come to the next transaction, and the next transaction is goods costing rupees 500 given as charity. Goods costing rupees 500 given as charity. The cost price of these goods are 500 and the selling price is given rupees 600. In this particular transaction, the journal entry would be charity account debit to purchase account. Since charity, we are giving these goods as a charity, and the charity is a expense for us, and all type of expenses comes under the nominal account, and the rule of the nominal account says debit all expenses and losses, credit all income and gains. So according to that rule, we have to debit this charity account. Since we have distributed goods as a charity, so there is a reduction in the value of purchase. So what we have to do? We have to credit purchases account. Next transaction is, which is related with the goods, is goods costing rupees 1000 distributed as a free sample. Why we are distributing goods as a free sample? To promote our business, sometimes we have to distribute goods as a free sample. If we are distributing goods as a free sample, so this is treated as a advertising expense. So again, it is a expense. If it is a expense, so all type of expenses comes under nominal account, and again the rule of nominal account is debit all expenses and losses. So because of that reason, we have debited advertisement account debit to purchase. Why we have credited purchase? Because we have distributed goods as a free sample, and again there is a reduction in the value of purchase. So if you have to reduce the value of purchases, in that case you have to credit this particular transaction. The next transaction is goods lost and stolen in transit, and the selling price is given rupees 1000 and the cost price is given 800. Goods stolen in transit. So this is a loss for the business. If goods are stolen in transit and this is a loss for the business, so all losses are to be debited according to the nominal account rule. And according to that rule, what we have done in the fourth entry, in the fourth general entry, we have shown loss in transit account debit worth rupees 800, and we have credited again this purchases worth rupees 800. Now if you analyze all these four general entries, you will be able to make out that all these four entries are related with the goods, and whenever there is a reduction in the purchases because of any reason could be goods withdrawn by owner for his personal use, goods given as a charity, goods distributed as a free sample, and goods lost in transit, there is a reduction. What we have done, we have credited purchase account. Since we are showing goods with the name, either with the name purchases or with the name sale, we cannot show sales here because there is not actually a sale. Why we are reducing the amount of purchase? Let's understand this within an example. We have purchased goods worth rupees 10,000. At the time of purchasing goods, what we have done, we have passed the entry purchase account debit to cash with rupees 10,000. Now take the first general entry in which the goods worth rupees 500 are withdrawn by the owner for his personal use. So out of 10,000 goods which we have debited, we have done the entry, general entry purchase account debit with rupees 10,000. So out of these 10,000 purchases, he has withdrawn goods worth rupees 500 for his personal use. So the final amount of purchases which should be there in the books of accounts is 9,500. And if according to the accounting, what we have to do, if we have done, we have debited the purchase earlier and we want to deduct this amount, the 500 rupees, this amount, in that particular case, what we have to do, we have to credit, we have to reverse that entry. So just because of that reason, there is a reduction in the value of purchases. So what are the reason in the reduction of this purchases? Goods withdrawn by owner for his personal use, so there is a reduction in the purchases. Goods distributed as a free sample, goods distributed as a charity, and goods stolen in transit. So all, because of all these reasons, purchases are reducing. And if we have to subtract in accounting these purchases, what we have to do, we have to reverse the entry. Earlier what we have done, we have debited the purchases. Now what we have to do, we have to credit, because we have to minus this particular amount. So all these transactions were related with the goods. There is one more important transaction which is related with the goods, and this transaction is goods worth rupees 8,000 destroyed by fire, and the insurance company admitted the claim for rupees 7,000 and paid the amount by check. Let's read the first line only, that goods worth rupees 8,000 destroyed by fire. This is a transaction. How to record this particular transaction? As we can see, goods worth rupees 8,000 destroyed by fire. So this is a loss, and this all type of losses comes under which account? Nominal account. And the rule of nominal account says that you have to debit this loss. So according to that rule, what we have to do, we have to pass this general entry, and the general entry would be loss by fire account debit. since it is a loss and all type of losses comes under nominal account, what we have done, we have debited loss by fire account debit worth rupees 8,000. Is there any reduction in the value of purchase? Yes, goods are destroyed by a fire because of any reason. If your purchases are reducing, what you have to do, we have to credit that particular account. So that's because of that reason we are crediting this purchase account. So to purchase account rupees 8,000. Next is given in the same transaction, it is given that for this loss the insurance company admitted the claim for rupees 7,000. So you have to see it, loss by fire was for rupees 8,000, but the insurance company admitted the claim for rupees 7,000 only. So what you have to do, you have to pass one more entry for as the insurance company admitted the claim. If insurance company admitted the claim for the full, let's take this example first. If insurance company admitted the claim for the full amount, the loss was rupees 8,000 and the insurance company admitted the claim for the entire amount, that is rupees 8,000. If insurance company is willing to pay the entire amount, so there would be no loss for me. So I have recorded the loss by fire worth rupees 8,000 and the insurance company is saying that they will pay this particular amount in future. So this loss is no more loss to me. In that case, what you have to do, you have to remove this, you have to close this loss by fire account. So how to close this particular account, loss by fire account, what you have to do, you have to credit this loss by fire account. In that case, if this loss is no more loss to you, in that particular case you have to credit this account. But in this particular transaction, what is given, that loss by fire was given rupees 8,000 and only rupees 7,000 was admitted by the insurance company. That is a partial claim. So whatever they are willing to pay, so insurance company admitted the claim for rupees 7,000 and insurance company is a debtor. So whenever debtors are increasing, according to that rule, you have to debit it. So insurance company account debit 7,000 and the loss by fire, because ultimately we have to close this account loss by fire, and which is showing a debit balance in our books of rupees 8,000. So we have to credit this with the same amount. So what we have done, we have done insurance company debit 7,000 and to loss by fire rupees 8,000. But this cannot be possible because your debit is not equals to credit. In debit side, on debit side you are showing 7,000 and on the credit side we are showing 8,000. Because out of a loss of rupees 8,000, 7,000 was admitted by the insurance company and the difference amount of rupees 1,000, this is a actual loss for us, and this 1,000 would be shown with the name, with the account profit and loss account. And why we are debiting this 1,000 with the name profit and loss account? Because since it is an actual loss and all losses are to be debited according to the nominal account rule. So the entry would be, final entry would be insurance company debit, because they are the debtors, we have to debit the debtor and we have debited with rupees 7,000. But the loss, total loss was for rupees 8,000 and they have admitted the claim for 7,000. The difference amount is the actual loss that would be transferred to the profit and loss account, and this rupees 1,000 will be shown in the profit and loss account on the debit side. And the insurance company, which has become debtor for rupees 7,000, they have become debtor for rupees 7,000, would be shown in the balance sheet. Your loss by fire account is closed in your books, because what you have done, we have done in the first entry, we have debited the loss by fire. In the second entry, we have credited the loss by fire. So the amount was also same, it was debited for rupees 8,000 and loss by fire we have credited for rupees 8,000. So this is closed in our books. Now insurance company promised to pay this amount rupees 7,000 in future. So whenever this insurance company pays this particular amount which was due on him, so if they are paying this amount in future, then we are receiving cash or we are receiving this amount by check, then the bank would be debited and the insurance company would be removed from the list of debtors. So we have debited this insurance company when they became debtor. Now the debtor paid the amount due on them, so we have to close this account. Insurance company would be removed from the list of debtors. Next is drawings account. What is drawings account? This drawings account is a personal account of the proprietor. When the businessman withdraw either cash or goods from the business for his personal use, as I have explained you earlier as well, any transaction which is done by the owner, that would be depicted either with the name capital or drawings. If he is contributing cash into the business, that would be depicted with the name capital. If he is withdrawing cash or goods or something else from the business, that would be depicted with the name drawings account. So drawings is a personal account because it is representing person. Which person it is representing? Owner. So in this particular case, the entry would be drawings account debit to cash if he is withdrawing cash from the business. See, we have to record all the general entries from the point of business, not from the point of the owner. So that's why we are crediting cash, because cash is going out of the business. Who is withdrawing cash from the business? Owner. So owner is withdrawing cash from the business and we are depicting this owner with the name drawings account, and cash is going out, so that's why we have credited cash. And he is also withdrawing some goods from the business, as we have discussed in the previous journal entry, that if goods are withdrawn by owner for his personal use, then in that case we have to reduce the purchase account. That's why we have credited it. So the entry would be drawings account debited to cash account to purchase account. The next one is sale of asset or property. When any asset of a business is sold, either there will be a profit or there will be a loss. Let's understand this with an example. That there was an asset, or let's take an example of machinery. There was a machinery worth rupees 10,000 and we have sold this machinery for rupees 11,000. So how to pass the general entry? When we are selling the machinery is asset, and when we are selling the machinery, cash is coming. So cash and machinery both are asset, and all type of assets comes under real account. And the rule of real account says debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And according to that rule, what we have to do, we have to debit the cash account and we have to credit the machinery account, because machinery is going out. Now the question arises here, how to record the profit on sale of this particular asset. As I have given you the example that the value of the machinery in the books which was appearing in our books was rupees 10,000. So this machinery was recorded for rupees 10,000 in our book, and we have sold this machinery for rupees 11,000. Since we have sold this machinery for 11,000, we have to record the cash account debit. We have to record this cash with the actual amount, that is rupees 11,000. So the entry would be cash account debit 11,000 to machinery account 10,000, and there is a profit on sale of asset on machinery, that is rupees 1,000. So 1,000 would be credited in that particular case. The next is, if there is a loss, the entry would be reverse. You have to obviously debited the cash, since we are receiving cash, so entry would be cash account debit to asset account. If there is a loss, all type of losses, expenses comes under nominal account, and according to that rule, you have to debit the losses. The entry would be cash account debit. Here on cash, real account is applicable. On loss on sale of asset account, nominal account is applicable. To asset, again here real account is applicable. I have explained you in the previous lecture, there are three types of accounts. One is real, nominal and personal. So before passing the general entry, we have to analyze the transaction, that which account is applicable, and then accordingly we have to apply the rules for accounting, that is traditional rules. The next one is wages and installation charges for the erection of machinery. Generally what happened, when we purchase some machinery, we need to get it installed, and the installation charges paid are merged or debited to the cost of machinery, because those are of a capital nature, those are not of a revenue nature. We cannot treat that expense as a revenue expense. So according to that, what we have to do, let's understand this with an example. A machinery purchased for rupees 9,000 and the installation charges paid rupees 1,000. So at what price we should record this machinery? The machinery would be recorded with the total price, that is 9,000, the cost of the machinery, and the installation charges which you have paid for the installation of this particular machinery, that is rupees 1,000. So the journal entry would be passed with the entire amount, that is rupees 10,000. So in the books of accounts, the cost of the machinery would be shown 10,000, not 9,000. We cannot record these installation charges as a installation charges. We cannot record these installation charges as a expense, because these are not revenue expense. This is of a capital nature, and these are merged with the cost of machine. So in accounting cycle, we are done with the journal entries. The next step in the accounting cycle is posting in ledger. What you have to do, you have to record the journal entries in the journal, and then after journal entry we have to post these journal entries into the ledger. So the next step is posting of journal entries into the ledger. Let me first explain you what is ledger. Transactions are recorded in the journal. After recording the transaction in the journal, they are posted to the relevant account in the ledger. Ledger is a principal book. As the ledger is the ultimate destination of all the transactions, the ledger is called the books of final entry. What is the relationship between journal and ledger? Journal is a book of original entry, whereas ledger is a main book of account. In the journal, transactions are recorded when they occur, that is in a chronological order, but posting in ledger is done periodically. It may be weekly, fortnightly, or as per the convenience of the business. The journal does not disclose the complete position of an account. We cannot analysis. If you want to know about the total list of debtors or total amount of debtors, we cannot ascertain this by preparing journal. For that can be done by preparing ledger. The record of transaction in the journal is in the form of journal entries, where the record of the ledger is in the form of an account. This is the performer of ledger. This account is always prepared in the T format according to the traditional approach. This account is prepared in the T format. On the left side, debit side is given, and on right side is shown with the name credit. So on the debit side, the columns are date. You have to put the date on which the transaction, on which you are recording the entry. Then particulars, you have to record the particulars. JF stands for journal folio, and then amount. And again the columns are repeated of the credit side. Now how to do the posting. What is posting? Let me first explain you. Posting is the process of transferring the transaction which are recorded in the books of original entry. What are the books of original entry? General or subsidiary books. I have explained you in my previous lecture that if the volume of the transactions are not quite high, then in that case business prepare journal, and if the volume of the transactions are quite high, in that case subsidiary books are kept by the businesses. And it may be done, this posting, ledger posting may be done weekly or fortnightly according to the convenience of the business. Now how to do this ledger posting? Let's take example. The first case is when there is only two accounts are involved in a transaction. When there are only two accounts are involved in a transaction, let's understand this with an example, that goods sold for cash worth rupees 20,000. In this particular transaction, the entry is cash account debit to sales account. It means only two accounts are affected here, that is one is cash and one is sales. In this particular journal entry, two accounts will be open. One is cash account and one is sales account. On cash account, as you have done the journal entry, in journal entry you have written cash account debit. While posting this journal entry into the ledger, this account, the entry would be, when you are posting into the cash account, this journal entry would be posted like you have passed the entry cash account debit to sales account. So in cash account we will write on the debit side to sales account. On the debit side we denote this with the 2, and on the credit side we are writing on the credit side we denote it with the by. So we have to record it on the debit side to sales account worth rupees 20,000, and in the sales account we will record this journal entry. Means in the sales account the name of cash would be recorded, and this would be recorded on the reverse side, that is on the credit side, with the name by cash account. Now the next case is when more than 2 accounts are involved in a transaction. When more than 2 accounts are involved in a transaction, like here example is given, paid salary 1000, commission rupees 1000. In this particular transaction, the entry, general entry would be salary account debit 1000, commission account debit 5000 and to cash. Here 3 accounts are involved. One is salary account, one is commission account and one is cash account. So what we have to do, we have to prepare 3 accounts. One is salary, commission and cash account, and accordingly we have to post this account. In salary account, what we have to do, we have to post these entries. In a salary account, how much salary we have paid rupees 1000. So in a salary account, this would be shown on the debit side to cash account 1000. How much commission we have paid 5000 as a commission. So commission account debit to cash, on the debit side we have shown 5000. And in the cash account, since we have paid cash for 2 things, we have paid salary in cash and we have paid commission in cash, and this cash, since cash is going out, and this would be showing on the credit side of the cash account, and these are by salary account and by commission account. The total cash which we have paid is 6000. Thank you so much everyone. In the upcoming lectures we would be discussing about the balancing of accounts, trial balance and about the final accounts. Thank you so much.